Hey there, welcome to the Big Girl School Book Club. If you're just joining us, we're on Chapter 12 of Roberto Valenzuela's Picture Perfect Practice. And this week is really fun. In fact, it looks really cool on my grid already, and it's using paintings and artwork as backgrounds or just as part of your photo. And so this is tons of fun. I want to jump right into it, and let's go ahead and get started. Hey there. Okay, so this is a lot of fun. You can see just even on the grid here, it just livens up everything by using paintings and artwork in your photography. So one of the tips that I wanted to give you is actually to use Airbnb. If you can't think of anywhere where you are, or say you're going to a new city and you're looking for something to do, something that's a lot of fun is to look up AirBnB Experiences. And there's a ton of photographers that do mural and street art tours. In fact, when we were in Nashville, that's what we did. We found a mural tour, and we ended up finding different parts of Nashville, like the non-touristy parts, that we got to see all these little hidden murals, and it was a lot of fun, and it was something different to do. And in fact, when I got back to Atlanta, we had some people coming into town, and so I went on Airbnb Experiences for Atlanta, where I live, and found some really cool street art that I had no idea even existed. So here's one in Nashville, and I love the color. I love the composition, how she's kind of nestled up to the drawing here. I love the words karma. The artwork and paintings just make it pop. Now here in Atlanta, we went on Airbnb and we looked up, and it turns out Cabbagetown, I've heard of Cabbagetown, but I didn't know there's an entire huge, all along the Beltline of artwork and street art. So you can see us shooting here. This is kind of a behind the scenes shot. We ran into some skateboarders and they let us take some pictures, but you can see as far as the eye can see, there's tons of street art, really, really cool stuff. So let's go ahead and just jump into it. But if you're looking for, just Google, street art or street art tours, or go on Airbnb and get a guided tour. Tons of fun, and you'll find places and cities that you didn't know about. So here is the first thing that Roberto talks about, and that's using, getting rid of the context. So you can see in the picture on the left, this is the original picture, I am shooting Kelly and she's an artist. So very convenient. She had some art to use as a backdrop. But you can see here I've got some of her other art, the wall, the lamp. We've got a lot going on here. So by cropping in to the picture on the right, I've taken away all the context. You don't know where we are. We could be in a hotel room. We could be in a studio. We could be in her bedroom. We could be anywhere. And it just shows that she's an artist, and we use some of her art in the background without any context as to where we are. Now, here we're back to, this is the murals that I showed you earlier. So we kind of just went mural by mural, and here we took this picture with an eye towards two things. One, the composition. So Roberto talks a lot about still keeping in mind the balance, the symmetry, the composition items that you've learned in earlier chapters, but here we've centered her in the woman, right in the middle of the woman, and then we've turned her face towards the sun because the sun was very harsh. This was midday, 4 o'clock, so still very harsh sun, and we've pointed her face up towards the sun. And so we've done more than just put her up against the wall. We've really thought about the composition and the lighting as well. Here's another one. We've removed the context, so we don't know where this picture's taken. We've used color to make her pop off the keyboard. We've added the little shh in the corner just to give it a little bit of fun. But again, you have no idea where this is taken. It's actually taken very close to us here in Cumming, Georgia. Now here we're back at Cabbagetown, and one thing that we did was, one, we watched where the sun was coming over, and to make sure we got a lot of really even, nice backlighting on her hair. And then another thing that we've done is we've looked at the composition. So you can see the kind of curve of this flower. The way that I've positioned myself, she's sitting right in the curve. So the composition, it kind of all goes together. I don't have her sort of sitting over here or, you know, right in the middle. Everything feels really nice and balanced and like it goes together. Now here is another one. This was taken down on the Beltline over by Piedmont Park in Atlanta, if you're looking for this mural. But this was a lot of fun because she was wearing a very simple black and white outfit. But we had these fun polka dots here. We got some movement with the dress moving. And again, it gives the image a lot more pop with all these colors than we would have had just against a normal plain wall. On the other side of the Beltline is this. And so again, now we've got more of a monochromatic tone going. We've got the black and white with the black and white. We've got a pop of yellow. We've got a pop of red with her shoes. And again, we've got the circle going around her head, and we've got a little bit of shape in the skirt. So even though it's very simple to photograph against artwork and paintings, keep in mind the symmetry, the composition, the colors. Those will all come into play. Even the expressions, if it's a very lively expression or a very lively, colorful painting, you might want to have something more fun in their expressions. If it's something more somber, you know, do you want to have a somber expression or do you want to have kind of the opposite expression? He talks a lot about this in the chapter as well. Now we're back in Nashville, so some other cool artwork that we saw. Again, her outfit really complements the artwork itself, and kind of her vibe also goes with the Make Music Not War. So again, we've got a lot of things that really go together, like her black shoes and the black record here, the gray and the gray, and everything just really goes together. Even the mood on her face kind of goes with the saying. Here's another example of removing the context or just zooming in. So here we're in downtown Roswell, Georgia, and there's this little bullseye. And so I love both pictures. It was really bright out. Even at 5:30 in the afternoon, it was still very bright. So we came over here and we stood him in the bullseye and we turned his face away from the sun so we weren't getting a lot of harsh sun in his face. And here it's the same exact picture. We just got rid of the guitar, but we zoomed in and we took him a little off center of the bullseye, just to give it a little bit of, you know, not so centeredness, a little more tension, and you lose a little bit of the context here, even though in both pictures you don't really know where we are. Now here's for headshots. Graffiti makes, or street art makes, an amazing backdrop for a fun headshot. So here you can see we used more of a long lens, a blurrier background. Let's see what lens we used. So I was zoomed in at 75. This is a 28 to 75 at f2.8. So it blurs out a little bit of the details of the artwork, but it leaves the colors. And here you can see that her blue eyes and the blue paint really pop, and it makes for an interesting and different headshot. Here we go again. We're using a longer lens. We're zoomed all the way in. We are shooting wide open at 2.8, so we're getting the colors without the crispness of the artwork itself. So you're getting that added texture and flavor and artistic feel without all of the details. And here we've also used the sun to backlight her. Another one here in Nashville, if you're familiar with this one, it's by Draper James store. And again, it just gives a little bit of a fun feel to the headshot. Now this one here is sort of interesting because this is just a chalkboard. It's an old school chalkboard that's been washed and wiped down, but all the texture in the background really makes a nice backdrop for this portrait or this headshot. And then finally, on the last one here, I took some personal branding pictures in Sharon's home, and she had a lot of beautiful kind of aqua teal artwork in her home. And so we shot with a long lens, 100 millimeters. We shot wide open at 2.8. And here I just zoomed in on her so that I could focus only on her art in the background. It was just a big piece of art on her wall. I placed her as such that it was far enough away. I used a long lens that kind of brings it all, it kind of compresses it all together. And then the colors from the artwork really add to her jacket and the color in the photo. So this is just some of the ways that you can use artwork in your photography. He talks about using art, maybe if you're in a hotel room and they've got artwork in there, or artwork in a hotel as a way to incorporate it and to make your picture different and more interesting. So when you share what you shoot, it'd be fun to hear where you are and where you found the artwork. So maybe we can all share different things with each other and we can find new places to shoot. All right, thanks. And make sure to tag the Big Girl School on Instagram so that we can feature you. All right, have a great day.